happy Thursday afternoon, everyone, or morning, depending on where you're at, like I was told before the show. But we are here with another conversation, and we are here with Glenda, who's music and founder of Global Badass Goddess, which we are going to start off asking about what Global Badass Goddess is.
So thanks, Greg. It's good to just kind of connect. Thanks. It was great meeting you. So
Definitely.
we got off to a good start. That's good.
Yes.
Yeah. So Global Badass Goddess, what do you want to know about it?
Tell us about what it is and what you do there.
Sure.
Being founder.
Sure. Well, it originally started actually in my kitchen. It was really weird. I had a girlfriend come up to me and we were standing there talking for a while and she said, "You're just a badass." And I said, "What do you mean by that?" And I just, I kind of explored that with her and she kind of shared some things, how she saw me and that type of thing. And then I really kind of sat back and thought, well, how do I make a difference for people? Like, how do I really, how does that translate? What is a badass, you know? And so I broke it down. I thought, okay, so to me, a badass is somebody beautiful, accessible, daring, abundant, savvy, and sexy and sassy. You could, you can just exchange whatever you want. But I thought that's what that is to me. And that's who I have been stepping into. And I wanted to share that with other women. And so I started not only the podcast, but I originally started a magazine and just really supporting other women to be fully self-expressed and step into their own empowerment and find out what that is, to be able to have clarity, courage, confidence, commitment, and eventually community, at least a stronger one. So, so that's kind of how we started.
Now you have a podcast. Can you tell us a little bit about the podcast?
Yeah, sure. It's kind of a twofold podcast. So it's Glenda Benevides is the overarching podcast, and you can find my music videos there, my interviews. So I have interviews with other musicians and people in the art field, just to explore what it is that they do and how they got there and what had them be successful inside of the music industry, the art industry. And I'm been quite fortunate to speak with several women that had worked with Prince, and the other gal had the Club Nouveau. It was a pretty fairly large band in the 80s, and just really going over their life path and how that worked for them and how it didn't work for them. So pretty interesting stories. You have to check it out. I was like, wow, this is great. And then I have the Global Badass Goddess podcast, and that is where we cover a variety of people, not just only women. I started out just really supporting women, but it's a variety of people and their businesses and how they got started, their challenges, their triumphs, just really exploring that and really stepping into that. How do we get that full self-expression? How do we stand in our own empowerment? How do we find out who we are? What is it that we truly want? Are we in transition or not? Those type of things. So I just really wanted to kind of spotlight on that and, just share people's stories. I think that's really important.
Very good. Now, also, you have an ebook that's out.
I do. It's free. It's called Own the Goddess Within. And I think you'll put up the link to it, but you can just go to my site and download it. And hopefully that helps you and inspires you.
It's actually 3 different things here. Let me do it one by one here. Let's do this in the proper order. Now, what is your biggest inspiration for the book and your podcast? What is your inspiration to get that going?
I never wanted to do that. um, like I said, starting the goddess stuff, I think the intention was just to really support others, to like really
Mhm.
see who they are and be able to step into their empowerment and express themselves. And so I thought, okay, well, let's start a magazine. Let's do that. So that's how Global Badass got us started. We just thought, what the heck? Let's just try it, see what happens. And it was wonderful for a little while. It was a lot of work for
I
no
can imagine
money.
that.
And so I just thought I'm going to transfer that over into podcasting, just because I like to talk to people, and I kind of like what you're doing, Greg. It's way more interesting. It's good to have information and be able to read stuff, but it's also good to kind of like be able to ask questions or find some interest that could spotlight different avenues of things for people. So I don't know if I answered your question.
Pretty good. But let's go in. You also teach when you're doing the empowerment with music, I believe I read.
Yeah, I'm right now being considered for a Grammy. So I'm up for that. And inside of that, I decided to work with Grammy University. They're a group inside of the Recording Academy. And what they do is they help younger artists find themselves basically and get better skills and really be able to just how do they move forward in their life. And they tend to be between the ages of, I think, 19 and 25, 27. There's a short window. So I'm a mentor for a young woman that is a singer, and she really wanted to move herself into a position where she could entertain, where she could relate to people and connect, instead of just stand there and sing,
Mhm.
So bringing herself out, just really being who are you?
Would you say it's kind of like teaching the emotions while you're singing?
Part of it, yeah.
That's got to be difficult.
It really is, because you have to be vulnerable, and you have to be okay with yourself, and what you have to offer, and not second guess yourself. And that's really challenging.
Now, has there been anybody that's ever stood out to you that you've taught?
I just started. So,
Okay.
yeah, this is my
That's
first year in the Recording Academy. So, this is my first year. I thought I'd jump out and say, wow, let me support an artist, upcoming.
so this is your first one that you're working with.
Yeah.
Let, let's talk about the difficulties of it. I mean, you got to have some difficulties and you got to have some that's like, okay, this was easy. Now let's make it a step further. And
Yeah. It's Greg, it's a matter of really talking with them and really finding out where they are in life and what they really want. And then you kind of just jump in, and then you start to see, oh, okay, they're a little timid, they're a little shy about that, they're making stuff up. You can start seeing what's happening. Like, we just started. So, um,
mm,
at first I was like, I'm going to plan this all out, right? And just make a plan. And I thought, no, don't do that. Just like let it unfold. You know, I have enough background and enough structure that if I can just let it unfold for her, then
mhm,
we can address the issues that she's, confronting at the time. So
very good.
not to be too heady. Like, I was a little heady.
Well, I was going to come up to this one for our next one, but Cliff Cliff Sheets just asked which category of a Grammy Awards were you nominated in?
Roots. I'm not nominated yet, but in the Roots category, American Roots.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Now, finding this out, you gotta have a certain point of excitement or almost ready to pass out or something like that. Finding something like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, There's a lot of steps. It started with me about 2 years ago. I said, I've been in this industry for a long time. I'm like, I want to get a Grammy. Like, how do you do that? Right. So I started researching, and it's really interesting. In order to even be considered or accepted into the Recording Academy, you have to have two people in the music industry that recommend you. And that's the word, recommend. They have to recommend. And it's not easy because they got to fill out all kinds of forms and talk about you and stuff like that. So that's how it starts. Then once you're recommended, they go, okay, Glenda, you tell me why you think you need to be in the Recording Academy. And wow, you fill that baby out, and it takes a minute, and you have to be prepared. Like, I mean, I had no idea. This was like the land. This was like a jungle. I was like, okay, what do I know now? And then the next question was, okay, where are all your music? Like, where is it posted? Like, is it, what social media do you have? And thank God I was already doing all that. Thank God my music was already out into the world and have distribution, because otherwise they'd be like, you're not serious. So that was interesting. It's been an interesting ride so far. This is my first year actually being accepted into the Academy, and now I'm being considered for a Grammy. So what that means is I vote, my peers vote, and I get enough votes, then I get to be in the running. So that'll be I think there's five what do they call it? 5 runners up. I can't take. And then there's the winner. There's another second half of voting.
So it is definitely a process.
Oh yeah. It's not for the faint of heart. Like, people out there, if you're a serious musician and you've been working for a long time and your music's out there and you believe in it, go for it. Yeah.
But definitely make sure that it's posted on one of the social networks. See, we learned something today.
See, posting, and it's really important that you have an aggregation. So you've got to be on Spotify or Bandcamp, or they don't consider Bandcamp, but because we get to make money. That's another story. We won't get into that, but yeah, you have to be have a presence. Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, then what about YouTube? Because YouTube, you can monetize.
Yeah. They definitely look at that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff underneath all that. It's a club like any other club, but those of us that are independent artists that really are out to make a difference and really create our art and really help uplift people, I think that do it anyway. It doesn't matter, but it's nice to be able to be acknowledged by your peers. It's also gives you more visibility, because that's what we want, right? We're trying to have a business, right? We're trying to have our heart and our love and our business. So, yeah.
It is definitely a small business, and especially for independents, because independent authors, I know a lot of them that go to the conventions to sell their books, and stuff like that. I mean, for being a singer, do you make like CDs or anything for people to buy?
Yeah, I have merchandise. Mostly, it's better to sell merchandise when you play live.
Yes.
Because then people connect to you, they see you, they hear you, then they go, I love that song, And so what I've been doing is 2 things: USBs. You can sell USBs, and you can also do QR codes. So those are a lot easier for people, because they just take their phone and they go like, boom. And then it takes them right to my site. They can buy it just like that. Or a USB if they want something physical. And then they kind of get neat things inside the USB. You can get pictures. You can, it's kind of like an old school album, but you just stick into your computer you download everything, and then you could like look at pictures and the video and, you know, all these special things, kind of like behind the scenes, right, for film.
Yes.
Yeah. And so we do that, or just the QR code, boom, takes them to the book, boom, takes them to the CD. And just an aside on that, what I'm doing right now is I am, for every book, my courage book, for every book and every download, I'll say that, not CD, download, I plant a tree. So I'm planting trees in California, of course, and Canada, the UK, and various other places that offer me to plant trees with a company called One Tree Planted. So
very nice.
Yeah.
So people definitely go check out her books.
Yeah, definitely. I'm on Amazon, or you can just go to my website. There's a link there. It says Glenda Benevides Courage Handbook and Goddess Album. And once you go there, you can choose, or you can buy both. Just, you know.
And we definitely have it listed on both Facebook and YouTube. So definitely go check it out.
Yeah. And you know, come on my Instagram too, and you can follow, and I'll be posting as I go along in the Grammys and stuff like that. I'll be posting things there, and people can, you know, take a look at the pictures and all kinds of other inspirational things that I have on my Instagram. So that's Glenda Benevides Music. So,
and just so we know, because I know it's going to be hard with you teaching right now, but do you plan on going on tour anytime in your area?
Yes, actually, my manager, my management company, Moksha Entertainment, we've been talking about that for a while. I've been this year been mainly releasing new music and working on my new set. It's got more of that roots, that Southern bluesy style that's going on with my David Bowie hair. I did this on purpose. It was red. But yeah, I saw David. Sorry, I was just a little side. I saw David Bowie's picture, and I was like, "Oh my god, I love that! So I got to do something cool like that." Anyway, aside. Yeah, so he's working on the Fringe Festival for me in probably next year or so. And a tour of probably Europe or wherever my fan base is really building. So
very cool. That would be exciting.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you'll be down here in Texas soon.
I'd love it. I'd love it.
But
Austin?
Well, I'm in Houston. But
are you in Houston? Okay. Yeah, I have a girlfriend in Houston.
I'm trying to think. Austin's only like a 3-hour drive.
I'll come to Houston.
But I do want to thank you for being on our show. And everybody, go check out her music. Go check out a book, and go be a tree planted for sure.
Yes. Thank you for your support.
Download.
Yeah.
But everybody, we will be at New Wave Expo this weekend in Corpus Christi. So y'all need to come by and check us out. And then our next show will be on Tuesday. But until then, everyone, adio. And again, thank you, Glenda, for being on.